Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good! Kyrie Irving from downtown!
Hey guys, Emmanuel here, and it's time for LeBron James and Kyrie Irving to get back together and reunite. So Kyrie Irving is going to be in the news a lot in the next coming weeks, especially after the finals ends. Kyrie Irving is going to be one of the names that is floated around a lot in the media, especially in the offseason. Watch out for that. Even though Kyrie Irving is not a free agent this year, he's going to be treated as if he's a free agent this year. His contract with the Brooklyn Nets doesn't end until next summer, 2023, but teams are going to pursue him for a sign-in trade as if he is a free agent this summer. And the reason is reports are coming out and word is circulating that the Brooklyn Nets are unwilling to actually offer Kyrie a contract extension on his contract that will take him for a number of years because of his personal choice to not get vaccinated, but also, most importantly to me, because of his unpredictable injury history. And this is something I've talked extensively about in the past. Kyrie Irving has had a long history of injuries, stemming back all the way to college, when he was with Cleveland, when he was with Boston, and multiple times this year and last year when he was with Brooklyn. I mean, for the majority of the contract duration that he has with Brooklyn, he's missed more games than he's actually played due to injury. And the Brooklyn Nets front office just isn't, they're done with that. They don't want to give a guy more money that is unpredictable. Furthermore, Kyrie Irving, Stephen A. Smith said this a lot, Kyrie Irving isn't into anything that isn't Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie Irving, whenever he signs, whenever you give him a long-term contract, and this is the problem with him, if you give him a long-term contract, he wants to be his own boss. So Kyrie Irving wants to come into work when he wants to come into work. He wants to be able to do a certain amount of workload, right? I think the Brooklyn Nets just aren't into that, right? You saw that last year when Kyrie would just take off without telling anyone. He wouldn't tell Steve Kerr, he wouldn't tell Kevin Durant. Like last year when he just took off to go party for a week with his sister, and then he came back and then he got suspended. So with all that culminating together, the Brooklyn Nets aren't willing to offer him a long-term contract. Now, that doesn't mean other teams won't give him a contract, but right, because most likely Kyrie Irving is not going to take a short-term 1-year contract at all, right? He wants a long-term contract for security, but Brooklyn is not going to give him that, but other teams may offer him a 2-year contract, right? So Kyrie Irving is going to be in the news a lot this year because teams are going to want to sign and trade him, especially teams like Dallas. Like Dallas could use that. Could you imagine if Kyrie and Luka play together? That would be great. But you know what would be even better than that? Kyrie Irving and LeBron James. That would be the best. So Kyrie Irving's future is uncertain, right? And let's be honest with ourselves. Brooklyn Nets experiment that he and Kevin Durant wanted to run has run its course and it has failed. And we've seen it multiple times. And this year was the epitome of that. The Nets got swept in the first round of the playoffs to the Boston Celtics. And the writing is on the wall. Everyone can see it that Kyrie Irving is not going to be a Brooklyn Nets for a long time. So my proposal is simple. He just reunites with LeBron James. And I'm only even able to say this because of what Kyrie said 2 weeks ago. I made a video on this topic, but 2 weeks ago, Kyrie Irving was on the I'm Athlete podcast. It's on here on YouTube. And he was talking about his career, his relationship with LeBron, and how he regrets leaving the Cleveland Cavaliers the way that he did. He said that had he had the maturity level that he has right now, he never would have left the Cleveland Cavaliers and never would have left LeBron. And to me, I'm interpreting that as him extending an olive branch to LeBron James, right? And while I think the door isn't closed, right? I don't think it's fully closed. I don't think the bridge between the two of them is completely burnt. I'm pretty sure LeBron would be welcoming. I think LeBron would love that, in fact, right? Compared to what he has now, right? I think LeBron would welcome that. So Kyrie Irving needs to go back to LeBron and join forces with him. And let's be honest with ourselves. At this point in both of their careers, they need each other. Like, they really need each other. When you think about it, like, let's think about it for a second. The situation that LeBron James is in right now isn't very ideal. It isn't very good. Right now, LeBron James has Russell Westbrook on his team, who's more of a bricklayer, a turnover machine than anything else. Also, to mention Anthony Davis, LeBron courted and wanted Anthony Davis on his team But a lot of what Anthony Davis is starting to show, right? Anthony Davis is built like a 60-year-old man who doesn't play much and has watched most of the games instead of actually playing in them, right? And that's not ideal for a guy like LeBron James, who's going into his 20th season next year and is 37, is going to be 38 in December, which means he can't do what he used to, right? He can't carry teams. He can't do the same amount of workload. I know this year LeBron dropped 250-point games, but that's not gonna be happening frequently, right? LeBron needs someone who's reliable because he just can't do the things that he used to, right? And we saw that firsthand. We were shocked last year when he could not do anything against Phoenix Sun, while we knew in the back of our minds that old LeBron, 2013 LeBron, 2014-15 LeBron would have carried the Lakers against the Phoenix Suns last year. And Kyrie Irving, let's be honest, Kyrie has nothing to show for in his career outside of LeBron James, right? Everything that he set out to do when he left LeBron, he hasn't accomplished it, right? I mean, the whole point of him leaving Cleveland and going to Boston was to go and carve out his own path. Go be the man in Boston. He went to Boston, failed, right? When he went to Boston 1 year, when he was injured, again, those injuries, the Boston Celtics actually went into the conference finals without him. And of course, they lost to LeBron James because it's LeBron. But that Boston Celtics was good without him. And furthermore, right, he goes to Brooklyn, and guess who sweeps him in the first round? Boston. The same Boston he was playing for. Boston sweeps him. His former team is what? Now in the finals. It's so ironic that both Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving's former teams are in the finals, while both players left those two teams because they wanted to go prove themselves, right? They leave and both teams go into the finals. That's so ironic, right? And so that's the same thing with Kyrie Irving. He failed in Brooklyn. I mean, he gets swept with Kevin Durant on your team. Who gets swept with Kevin Durant, right? I mean, even Russell Westbrook didn't do that. So the writing is on the wall. We know Kyrie Irving hasn't done much outside of LeBron in his career. And Kyrie Irving, in that podcast, even admitted he had his best seasons with LeBron. And he's right. Kyrie Irving plays his best basketball when he's playing with LeBron. Kyrie Irving plays his absolute masterclass best basketball when he's playing for championships, and that was only ever with LeBron James, right? That's when we got to see untucked jersey Kyrie. Different breed, different guy, right? We need that Kyrie Irving, please. And the two of them, LeBron James and Kyrie Irving, are a match made in heaven in terms of basketball. In terms of their games, the thing that made them work so well together was how their games complemented each other, right? LeBron James benefited from Kyrie Irving being on his team because in games, LeBron could literally take time off. He could literally take a break. No, and I don't mean going to the bench. He could literally bring up the ball, take the ball, give it to Kyrie, and just stand there and he'd say, you know what, man, go do your thing. Go get your points, right? Go dance on him. And guess what? Kyrie would do exactly that. Kyrie would go dance on you, create his own shots. And that was the most important thing. He would create his own shots. He wouldn't need LeBron to facilitate for him. He could create his own shots and most importantly, make tough shots. Create any shot on the floor and make them, right? And now it was so beneficial to LeBron. And that could be so beneficial to a 37-year-old LeBron who could use the rest sometimes, right? Who wouldn't need to make things happen all the time for everybody on the team. And like I said, these two desperately need each other, right? They have more to gain from reuniting than losing. Like seriously, Kyrie Irving this postseason realized Kevin Durant is not LeBron James. He realized that there may never be a LeBron James, right? He realized that LeBron James has tangibles that Kevin Durant doesn't. LeBron has leadership skills that you can't teach. Please, the basketball gods, make this happen, right? And those are just my thoughts, guys. That's my proposal. That's my suggestion. I'd love to see it. Thank you for tuning in if you watched all the way to the end. If you like these kinds of videos, basketball videos, this is League Talk. My name's Emmanuel Kenya, and you should subscribe to the channel. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button for the algorithm, and click here to watch why I think the media doesn't really like Joel Embiid at all. And until next time, kids.